Welcome back, Bulldogs. I'm Gabe.
And my name is Jack, and welcome back to another episode of 2 Minute Warning. In this episode, we'll be recapping the AFC and NFC championship games, looking at current NBA news, and we'll be checking in with the Hall of Fame baseball signings. And we'll be checking in with college basketball as well.
Before we start, I'd like to say sorry to all the fans that attended the Conor McGregor and Donald Cerrone fight. McGregor won the fight within seconds.
Yeah, it was a crazy fight, and to the fans, it was a good fight to see, but you basically got nothing.
Yeah.
Huge win, though, by McGregor, and hopefully us UFC fans can see him rematch Khabib, which could be the fight of the century. Anyway, let's start with the AFC and NFC championship games. Sadly, the Titans their luck eventually ran out, and Tennessee lost to the Chiefs. Final score 35-24. On the other side of things, well, let's just say it was a one-sided game. The 49ers, and I will admit, they surprised me and proved me wrong, beating the Packers by a final score 37-20.
Yep, despite Garoppolo throwing for 77 yards, Raheem Mostert had a huge game and ran right through the Packers defense for 220 yards plus 4 rushing touchdowns. Aaron Rodgers did not have a great game himself and threw 2 interceptions. Just as I said last week, it's all about defense.
Yeah, and it looks like you were right on this occasion, but like I said, the 49ers did surprise me, and I give them credit. It was a solid win for them, but the real test is going to be in the Super Bowl against the best offense in the league, Kansas City.
Well, let's move on to the MLB Hall of Fame results. 2 new players were added to Cooperstown. Derek Jeter was 1 vote shy of a unanimous vote, and Larry Walker gets in on his last year of eligibility. Mariano Rivera still holds the record for the highest voting percentage in MLB history. On the other hand, in the MLB, the Astros scandal has gone to a new level. Players, coaches, and World Series championships have been ruined by these scandals. More on the story next week.
Yeah, it looks like the whole sports world is getting involved with this, and it's just a crazy scandal, and it's just really sad to the MLB right now. Anyway, let's move on to the NBA. Damian Lillard really showed what Dame time means and dropped a massive 61 points versus Golden State. Portland moving to 19-26 on the season, and Kemba Walker finally got his first win versus LeBron, making his record versus LBJ 1-28. That happened on MLK Day on Monday. And the Pistons are continuing to let us down, and their record so far is a disappointing 16-28.
Moving on to college basketball, I don't really know where to start with this. To sum it all up, Michigan dropped out of the AP Top 25, Michigan stays staying pretty good in the top 15, and a bunch of really good powerhouse teams are losing. Also would like to add that Louisville went on the road and beat Duke. Happy to see that. Also, if you haven't seen it, there was a huge fight the other night between Kansas and Kansas State. It was absolutely unreal to see. The emotions took over on both sides, but the Jayhawks won that game 81-60.
Yeah, that was a crazy game and a crazy ending, but when you're losing by about 20 as a Kansas State player, you have to keep your emotions in check. Shake hands, go to the locker room, and focus on the next game. And on Kansas' side, you just got to be the bigger person and just let the game roll out and go to the locker room and congratulate your win. This year really is the madness for NCAA. I really like right now teams that are sitting real pretty in this January season is definitely Dayton and Seton Hall. These are 2 solid teams that could go far in the bracket.
Yeah, it just seems like nobody in the Big Ten as well could just win on the road. It's always the home team in the Big Ten.
Yeah. Let's move on to predictions.
So, Jack, who do you got in these NBA games? Lakers at Philadelphia.
Well, this is going to be huge for LeBron James. He's going to have Anthony Davis, his star player, next to him. And that's going to be huge for the Lakers, and I think they're going to come into Philadelphia, and they're going to come out with the win.
All right, Pelicans versus Boston. Zion's first challenge versus a good team.
Yeah, this is going to be an awesome game, and I'm definitely going to watch it. And I suggest you should too. This is going to be Zion's first real test, and it's definitely going to be a test for him. But I think if he can play well, and if the Pelicans team can play well as a whole, I think they can get the win against a struggling Boston team right now in this January month.
Yeah,
so I'm going with the Pelicans.
Yeah, it's gonna be like a bust or not moment because Zion was the #1 overall pick in the draft, and personally, I don't think he's gonna make it because there's so many big guys at his position that can just easily overpower him.
I don't know. I disagree with you. I think he's just so powerful and just so big. Anyway, moving on to college basketball. North Carolina at NC State.
Well, obviously, North Carolina is not having a good season at all.
No.
Roy Williams even said it himself. This is the least talented team he's ever had at North Carolina. I think this will be a close game, but I do think NC State will get this one.
Yeah, I can agree with you on that one. Illinois at Michigan.
Well, Michigan needs a Big Ten win. They have not been doing good on the road, just like any other Big Ten team. So Michigan needs to get back on the map, and they need to get this win. I got Michigan.
Yeah, they need to go on a streak right here and get some good wins under their belt. And starting with Illinois, that can be a good conference booster. MSU at Minnesota.
Well, hopefully, I mean, I'd like to see Minnesota win this, but I think a Big Ten team's going to get a road win here. I think Michigan State's just going to overpower them.
Yeah, it could be a good game, and then it could be a blowout. We'll have to see.
All right, let's move on to Pistons versus Nets.
Well, this is going to be a good game. You know, you have the Pistons, a struggling team, then you have the Nets who just got Kyrie back last week. But I think the Nets, with as much talent as they have, I think the Nets are just going to overpower the Pistons. I got the Nets in this one.
I agree with you, but I do think that Sekou Doumbouya, how you pronounce his name, I think he's going to have a huge game. He might have a triple-double. I just don't think it'll be enough.
I don't know. He's still pretty young. Anyway, that's the end of our show. I'm Jack. Go Blue. And tune in next time for more recaps, highlights, and predictions.
And I'm Gabe. Also go Blue. And have a great weekend, Bulldogs.
And tune in next week for the guest appearance.
Gets it back. Zion for 4 for 4! Welcome to the NBA!
And Alvin Gentry sends another center back. Derek Favors is going, oh no, now he's coming back.
How